In today's video, I am going to be breaking down Jayson Tatum and how he is able to score so easily and how you can score as easily as Jayson Tatum in your next basketball game. Let's get down. Let's check him out really quickly. If you want to be able to jump higher, make sure to go check out my vertical jump training book that is down in the description below. Okay, so in this first clip, Jayson Tatum gets that or receives that pass, and then he attacks the basket. When he attacks the basket, he does something that is very important. Count how many dribbles he takes. He takes one dribble there, second dribble there, and then he is able to keep that ball high and he's able to score. As soon as he turns that corner on his defender, he takes two dribbles. This is extremely important. Anytime you go onto the attack and you turn the corner to attack the rim, you should only take two dribbles. If you are within this range of the rim, two dribbles is all you can get. If you take more than two dribbles, watch what happens. When he attacks, if he was to take a third dribble right there, this defender right there would have been able to get his hand in there and steal that ball. But because Jayson Tatum took two dribbles, gathered the ball at around 15 feet, and took two really large steps, he was able to get to that rim. He kept that ball high, and it was pretty well unstoppable. It was pretty much unable to be stolen, which is exactly what you need to be able to do as a player. And yes, he was able to finish at the rim. Now in defense, guess what? You have players who cover the gap. If there is a screen and you use that screen, the gap defenders are going to then stop your ability to drive to the basket. When this happens, guess what happens? There is a player on the wing who is wide open. This player could shoot, he could pass to the corner, he could drive, he could kick it out to this side. You could get a paint touch that way. There's a lot of different options, but Jayson Tatum is able to score so easily because he makes the right pass. If he was to try to attack this man, he would have had that ball stolen, and the defenders would have been collapsing even more into the key, which would have stopped his ability to drive completely. But by kicking that ball out and allowing his teammates to have open three-point shots, as we see right here, that allows Jayson Tatum later on in the game to have the middle lane wide open for him to attack. Now, Jayson Tatum posts up in the mid-post right here, but there's one thing that he does extremely well. He keeps his head looking over his shoulder. He doesn't have his back to the basket. He has his shoulder to the basket, which then allows him to be able to have massive peripheral vision to see what this man is doing and to see what all of his teammates are able to do and if he has any attack lanes towards the basket. In this clip, when he does post up, we can see that as soon as a defender goes and tries to dig on his post up, he is able to react in a way so that it sends this defender back to where he came from, because Jayson Tatum is a willing passer, which then creates more one-on-one situations for him to be able to score. Now, with him continuously posting up, he's able to then do a quick step back or sidestep into that shot. Okay, so here Jayson Tatum is able to get that steal because that player right there took a few too many dribbles. Remember, you want to limit your dribbles to two, or else defenders are going to steal that ball. After Jayson Tatum gets that steal, he goes all the way down court, and then magic happens, and that is he's able to score. He was able to score right here because guess what he did at this point? At this point, he made body contact first with that defender, so that when he makes contact first as the offensive player, that creates distance. If this defender was to create contact first with the offensive player, not necessarily illegal contact, but just legal contact in general, incidental contact, because both of them own the ground that they are on, which means that if they run into each other going towards the same point as they are right here, guess what? There's no foul. So by Jayson Tatum creating that contact first into that defender, that removes that defender from the situation, creates that distance that he needs so that he's able to make that layup, as we see right there. Now, cutting off ball is extremely important. Watch this defender. His eyes are not looking at Jayson Tatum. His eyes are looking in this direction. So Jayson Tatum is not even being guarded right now. there's nobody looking at Tatum, which means that that whole middle lane right here is wide open, and he better take it. Especially with a man in the dunker spot and another man on the weak side corner, there's a lot of opportunities for anyone. So right here, this man passes out to Tatum. Tatum should have been cutting. In my opinion, I would have been cutting if I was Jayson Tatum. However, he notices because his man is way out of position. When he receives that pass, he attacks right away. He doesn't wait a millisecond. He attacks literally right away, which then allows him to get that gap in that defense, and then he's able to attack that rim. And because he was able to keep that ball far and high away from those defenders, he was able to then finish at the rim. Now, Jayson Tatum gets the ball into the high post yet again here. However, watch his footwork, because his footwork is actually extremely important. And if you want to be able to score from that high or mid post, footwork is important. So right here, he keeps that ball nice and high, elbows out to clear out the defender. He's able to clear that defender out, and then he's able to step into that defender. This has now created a gap between himself and the defender, which then allows him to be able to bring that ball back down so that he is able to get that ball into that gathered position. Well, and first a little bit of a jab, but into that gathered position so that he's able to go up for a comfortable shot, as we see right here. I hope that these tips help you score more easier in your next game. If they do, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again in my next video. Make sure to go check out my vertical jump training book that is down in the description below.